Bianca Zanini is live for us there. Bianca, it's a significant break in Brazilian politics, of course, with the voters abandoning the leftist party that's, of course, dominated past elections. What are we hearing from people there today?
Right, Tracy, that's absolutely right. Like right now, I'm on Copacabana Beach. It's quiet. It's a little bit clouded. It's a regular Monday. But yesterday, a few minutes after the elections results were presented, the city exploded in celebrations, in parties. People were really, really excited. They were excited for the change and for the hope that Bolsonaro brings so many of them. In particular, here in Copacabana, which is a high middle class, rich neighborhood. It's been dubbed Bolsonaro land. A lot of people are finally seeing a little bit of hope, a little bit of change. I spoke to one of his supporters earlier today. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
In general, he's presenting a liberal proposal focused on productivity, on less bureaucracy, on effectivity, on efficiency, on getting results in terms of economic progress. And that's really what we need in this country, because the country has been plunging more and more all these years.
So, Bianca, we've heard there what Bolsonaro is promising, at least what some of the promises that have reached the ears of his supporters. What can we expect from his government?
Well, that's a really good question, Tracy, because the reality is Bolsonaro has said a lot of things. He's promised a lot, but we don't actually know a lot of details. We do know that he said he's going to focus on security, that he wants to arm the Brazilian population so that they can defend themselves, that he wants to crack down hard on criminals and kill criminals and allow police to kill suspected criminals even. He's really said that he's going to surround himself with military men in the cabinet. He wants to militarize until at least for a certain until a certain step. He wants to militarize the security of Brazil. Now, we also know that he has not put in his priority at all issues of climate change, of human rights, or the rights of minorities, and that is something that has a lot of Brazilians really worried. Now, with me here is Juliana Duarte. She's one of these Brazilians. Juliana, tell me, what are you feeling today?
I am feeling deeply saddened, concerned, and I am honestly afraid of what is going to come, because Bolsonaro has made very serious remarks that harm the integrity of human beings in terms of human rights. He has made very racist, homophobic remarks and making allusion to the times of the dictatorship we faced in 1964. And that's the reason we're very afraid of what's going to come next.
So a lot of Bolsonaro supporters are saying that, a lot of the things he says are just part of a campaign. It's just words. Essentially, the people who are voting for him barely actually believe what he has to say. What do you say about that? Is he really going to take Brazil's in an authoritarian direction?
Well, like you said, we don't know, because he has refused to debate with the other opponent, the other president. I'm sorry, the other candidate running for presidency, Fernando Haddad, and we are afraid because we don't know. And the thing is, he has made very authoritative remarks. One of the things he said, for instance, just last Sunday, last week, was that all of the PT supporters, the supporters of the Workers' Party, which are the opponents, would have to go to the Ponta da Praia. And Ponta da Praia is the location of anyone who opposed the dictatorship would go to be executed. And so I don't understand how people can vote for a man that says so many serious things, and then they say that that's not exactly what he meant. It does not make any sense to me.
Well, then again, you have the other people, his supporters, saying, listen, we don't really have a choice. We had 13 years of a workers' party that led to this disastrous economy, a rise in crime. Let's try something new. What about that?
Well, of course, the alternance of different powers is usually productive for a country. I have that to say. But when this alternation of power threatens democracy is what those of us who voted for PT were concerned about. Lots of us are not PT supporters. We're not Workers' Party supporters. We recognize that they have been corrupt, but we saw a threat to freedom of speech. We saw a threat to the minorities, the Black, the LGBT community, the women, the poor. And even today, there was an article that was released about the voters per percentage, and 97% of the voters of Bolsonaro were medium-high class, and 90-some% of the voters against him or Fernando Haddad were poor or lower middle class or part of those minorities. And those are the bodies that die the most in Brazil today: the poor, the Black, the women, and the LGBT community. And it is against them that he has made the most serious remarks in terms of human rights. So it's our concern.
Right. Juliana, thank you very much for that. Tracy, back to you in the studio. Really, you can see a deeply divided country. 55% of those who voted were saying that at least we have a little bit of hope. At least there's a chance for something new, someone who's going to let us defend ourselves and make us feel safe. And then you have the other half essentially saying Brazilian democracy is in danger. Brazil took a sharp turn to the right last night, and the rest of the world right now is looking at the country and wondering who's next.